I'm a 27-year-old woman named Harper, and for the past year, I've been living in what I now call the party house, though technically, it's just a rental with 3 other people. My older cousin Lauren is 29, her fiancé Mason is 30, and Mason's best friend since college, Brett, is 31. When I first moved in, it was supposed to be temporary. I was switching careers and needed somewhere affordable while I figured out my next steps. Lauren offered me the guest room with cheap rent and a promise of a chill vibe and shared responsibilities. The first month felt fine. The fridge was usually full, everyone was friendly, and we'd sometimes watch Netflix together. Then the parties started. Not once a month, not even every other weekend, every single Saturday night, without fail, sometimes even on Fridays. And they weren't your average small get-togethers. They were full-on events with Bluetooth speakers blasting music until 3 a.m., a dozen people crowding the kitchen, and booze flowing like they owned a brewery. It didn't take long for me to notice a pattern. I'd wake up Sunday morning to find beer bottles lined up along the windowsills, greasy pizza boxes still open on the table, and red Solo cups on literally every flat surface. The floor would be sticky, couch cushions on the floor, random strangers' jackets on my dining chairs. I didn't throw a single one of those parties. I wasn't even invited. They'd call them intimate friend events or adult nights and somehow justify excluding me, even though I lived there. The worst part? Nobody asked me to clean. They just assumed I would. They'd leave post-it notes like, "Thanks for helping out, Harper. You're the best," taped to the fridge or my door, like I'd volunteered to be the post-party cleanup crew. One morning, I found an open bag of chips dumped on the rug and a note that said, "Could you vacuum when you get a sec?" Like it was just part of my day-to-day duties. I tried setting boundaries early on. I said I wasn't comfortable with cleaning up other people's messes, especially since I wasn't part of the gatherings. Lauren brushed it off. She told me I was too rigid and needed to loosen up. Mason told me it was just a phase and that creatives like them were messy by nature. Brett didn't say much, but he'd make passive comments like, "The house always looks so amazing after your magic touch." I didn't have a magic touch. I had Lysol wipes and resentment. One time, after someone vomited on the bathroom wall, yes, the wall, I cleaned it up. I didn't even get a thank you in person. Instead, they left a $5 Starbucks gift card on my pillow, like I just pet sat their cat. I couldn't even buy a full drink with it. It was like a parody of appreciation. Meanwhile, online, they painted the house like it was a bohemian dream. Lauren posted photos of fairy lights and carefully placed succulents on Instagram with captions like, "Home is where the creativity flows." In every shot, it was my living room, my bookshelf, my throw blanket, but not once was I tagged or mentioned. In real life, I was a background character in their curated image. What made it worse was that I wasn't even living there for free. I paid 1/4 of the rent and utilities, bought my own groceries, and had a set of dishes I kept in a separate cabinet. That didn't stop them from using my stuff. I'd find my plates crusted with dried cheese or my forks in Mason's cereal bowl in the sink. I started keeping some things in my room just to avoid the hassle. I thought about moving out more than once, but with job instability and savings that barely covered emergencies, it wasn't realistic. And since I wasn't on the lease, I had no real power. I felt stuck, trapped in a house where I was expected to clean up after people I couldn't even stand to be in the same room with. 2 weeks ago, I was walking down the hallway and heard Lauren and Mason talking in the kitchen. They were discussing which realtor photos to use and whether to list the house as a boho minimalist retreat. I stopped in my tracks. Nobody had told me they were planning to sell. No heads up, no warning. They were planning an open house tour for Saturday, and I wasn't even part of the conversation. It was clear what the plan was.